Let's do it.
Now we're back here on the Young Nation podcast. This time around, we got a great dear friend of mine, Ausomefitness, also known as Ausomefitness.
Ausomefitness.
Look it up on Instagram.
Yes, sir. AUSOMEFITNESS for anyone that's curious. All right, continue, sir.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've known Austin for a long time, and I've seen him grow from everything, a young aspiring guy to a business owner and everywhere in between. You started, I guess you first started getting into fitness and competing.
Yes, sir.
Right? And then
16,
you got into
17.
Personal training, and then from there you got into owning a gym.
Yes, sir.
So today we basically want to talk about where you started, where you're at today, and where you're heading.
Okay.
So,
sheesh, you have time till about 7 p.m. It's like 1 o'clock right now.
Yeah, we got time.
So how it all started was I was always deep in sports. I love sports more than anything. Notice I'm 5'7", 5'8". Let's just go with 5'8". I'm very short, but back in the day I wasn't 5'8". I was always, like 4'11", 5'1", when everyone was going through their growth spurts. I was a short dude. So sports teams didn't work out for me. As a kid, when your friends are sporty and they make the teams and you don't, it's painful, because you see them on a team, on the court, in the stands. And that's how it started off for me, was I was deep in sports. When I didn't make the sports teams, when I didn't make the tryouts, right to the gym directly after. Now factor in that from 8th grade to 12th grade. Mm-hmm. Never making a team that I really, really wanted to be a part of. Always being short, being great. I really was great at practice, but I wasn't tall enough. Right. That's just what it is. Like Nate Robinson, he was in the NBA. He's 5'7", 5'8". The game's changing. The world changes, So didn't make teams, was right to the gym. And then when the tryouts ended, I was already so deep in the gym. I come from a very gym-friendly family. And I just took it from there. I went to competing, 16, 17 years old. That was not the best route. You live and you learn, you know what I mean?
Why'd you start competing? What made you get into that?
What made me get into that was, like I said, didn't make the teams. And then when I resorted to the gym for my frustration and my happiness and my coping mechanism, it turned into, wow, people, bodybuilders, people who already competed said, dude, you're 16, you're 17, look at the genetics, look at the work you've put in. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. So they started putting things in my head. All these guys at the nutrition stores that I'd bump in and grab a protein shake, they'd try to, compete, just compete. So they put it in my head. And, I realized that maybe I wasn't meant to play sports. I have, systematically, the terminology is good muscle bellies. When you're shorter, you're more compact. And when you have shorter muscle bellies, it means you can only grow this way, not this way. When you're very tall and you have long muscle bellies, it's hard to sustain and build mass. It's just kind of like a common sense thing, If you can't grow up this way, you grow this way when you're shorter. So I had the genetics for competing, just not the genetics for the sports I wanted to be in. Right. But competing led me down kind of a dark path with myself. Because, people like you, people like myself, we can kind of sometimes have success dysmorphia where we grind and succeed, but we don't even take a second to step back and realize how much we really do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't realizing how much I was gaining, how much I was really grinding in the gym. So, when you're a part of a sport that requires you to look in the mirror 24/7 and check form and check your body, you're always seeing yourself.
You don't even see growth.
I don't see growth. So now we're factoring in the social media world we live in, where you're scrolling and someone's in better shape than you, someone's happier than you, someone is posting a diet picture of a clean food plate, whereas now you could be eating ice cream, viewing that, going, well, what am I doing with myself? Now that was the peak of when social media started to pick up. And I tried creating this crazy shredded guy image, like this was the best life to live. But when I swiped up out of the app and I was laying in my bed, I was miserable, starving, hungry, training for the wrong reasons, training to please others, to please judges. And I lost the passion in training because I wasn't doing it for myself anymore. You know what I mean? It wasn't my career path. It wasn't what I wanted to do. It was just what was good in the now. It was college time. Get the girls look good in college.
Spring break.
School, gym, repeat. School, gym, repeat. Now we have the whole other world of responsibilities, you know what I mean, to where that stuff's minuscule. Unless you're a professional bodybuilder, which I don't recommend to anybody. So, not healthy.
So then from what was the downfall? What made you go from a bodybuilder to a trainer?
Bodybuilder to a trainer, it's like, you know how they say, some critics would say it's crazy for an NBA player or a football player to just be an NBA or football player, especially when they're done, because there's so many other avenues in life they could master and or learn. Like Kyrie Irving just went to Harvard and took a business course for 6 months. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I went to bodybuilding, and I like right now I'm around 185. So if you want to put this into perspective, I hit like 210, like 5'8". I was eating like uncontrollably. It was disgusting. 210. It just wasn't even healthy. So I was like,
that's crazy.
I was like, yo, in my eyes, I feel like I've mastered my body. I've earned what I earned. I went from being this athletic, functional looking guy to this blob, which is not aesthetically pleasing to my demographic. If I were to aim to train someone, people would view me, although I'm not trying to change my image for others, but if I want to be a trainer and I walk around all blobby and bodybuildery, you'd think I can only train you in bodybuilding, right?
Yeah. This huge, massive ball of protein.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It was just not healthy, man. So I wanted to find that happy medium. You know what I mean? That's the happy medium.
So then that brings you to training. Weren't you were training at other people's facilities?
Yeah, I was licensed at 16 years old through the ISSA. I've been licensed for 7 years and counting now. And yeah, I was training people at these random facilities, whether it's a private gym, whether it was an apartment complex, but it wasn't genuine and it wasn't real. It's kind of like, it's like hosting a party, but it's not your house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you could show the house, you could act like it's yours, you can grab the stuff like you're comfortable, but at the same time, you don't own it. And it's like, whether the person was happy or not, I knew deep down that, I'm not the boss here. If the lights are turned off, I got to get out of here. I wanted to have the power of turning off my own lights when I wanted to. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And so, how did you gain clients?
All right, so I was doing online training in college when online training was like a purple moon. It was like, you're an online trainer, like, what are you doing? That's just weird. It was foreign, man. It was, no one was doing that.
It's changed a lot over the past 2 years. Everybody's an online trainer. Everyone's
Exactly. So it's like people saw the growth of it and they're like, oh shit, I can make a few extra $100 a month. Cool. So now it's lost that, that purity to it. You know what I'm saying? So, but back in the day, I was 17, 18 years old. I was doing online training. I got my one client to turn to 3. I'm sure you know the business, bro. You know business, man. 1 turns to 2, 2 turns to 4. And when you understand client retention in this field, which means being passionate, being caring, being loving, not doing a copy-paste BS, format rather, on a Gmail or an email, just be yourself, man. So many people are doing it just for the money, and it's so clear as day. It's so clear as day. This is not a field to just do for money. When a client comes to you as a trainer, it's just like we spoke a few hours ago. It's like a psychiatrist almost. They come to you with their goals, they come to you with their aspirations, and then on top of that, when you're trustworthy and passionate and they can confide in you, they're now talking about their sister, their mother, their father, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, privately. Nothing is projected out on social media. It's all confidential with however I speak with people, but it's a form of a psychiatrist. I am not a licensed psychiatrist. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying... For the record, all I'm saying is that I feel I'm acting as my own. People come to me with their problems, but their health. And when they trust me with that, it leads to whatever else they're going on in this world. They already trusted me with their health. That's the biggest... What else is more than that?
No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of where I stand.
And then, so from there, you've opened up your own gym, which is where we are at today.
We're out here right now. Yeah.
And so what steps did you take to get there? Like, at what moment did you decide, all right, I'm done with working at other people's gyms. I'm done working on other people's times. I need to do it on my own. What steps did you take? And how did you save up? Obviously, you had to save up, or you had to take a loan.
Yep.
How did you finance this whole operation?
Okay. Can I 100% answer that, but there's a few things I want to add prior to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mother's a direct lender mortgage broker, freak of nature in the mortgage field. She kind of saved my dad's business of salons and spas when it was kind of going downhill. It was the first spurt of downhill, if you will, that we've ever realized or seen. And she joined the mortgage field. She was making amazing money, great money. She busts her ass from home. And growing up, I'd see that subconsciously. She'd be on the phone, and I'd be hearing all these tactics and these game plans on the phone. And I have amazing phone skills, Jewish, Italian, like New Yorker.
Yeah,
doesn't get much.
Born to sell.
Yeah. It's like a trifecta. I was like born to sell. That's side note. That's why I went into this field of passion of mine, because I'm selling my passion. It's nothing better than that when you sell your passion. I'm not selling a health insurance plan. I'm not selling some form of something that's going to benefit my pocket, but in 14 months you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I went into the mortgage field for my mother. It was in that young mindset, didn't know what I wanted to do. To be honest with you, my parents didn't believe in the fitness thing, because the whole thing was go to 13 years of schooling, sports exercise science, get your bachelor's, get your this, get your that. But I was like, that's what the system, that's the system. And like all my life I've been very rebellious, not like crazy dark kid, but I've been pretty rebellious. And when something would bother me, especially with school, and it turned me off, and I was like, why am I studying Homo sapiens and the shape of a mammal's skull from year 400? Like I want to be training people. I'm like, what is this doing for me? So I rebelled, and then mind you, for the record, I'm so open about this, I don't even care. I did not finish school, did 3 years, and I'm making a point by doing that. I have a year left. Dude, let's go take 2 semesters like that, 1, 2, 3. I'm making a point by not doing so.
Right.
That's my goal. I want to make a point, because if I do that, then I have that. Me personally, I have that going on in my background. That's like a resume builder, but I want to make it to where I want to make it without that resume builder. To make a point to those that are frustrated with what they want to do and school may not be their path, I want to be that motivator, that stepping stone for them to go, you know what, maybe let's just try to bet on myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
This has gone so off track from what you initially. I told you, man, the coffee that you got me here.
The coffee's great. The Seed Boca Raton.
Yes, the Seed Boca Raton. Use my discount code. I'm kidding. This is a joke. Yeah, but...
No, but you got to sell your passion. It's important.
Yeah.
For a lot of the people out there not working on their passion, it's hurting them. It's like spiritual suicide.
Yep.
To go to the office and do things every day that you don't like.
Yeah.
You work Monday to Friday on something that you're not passionate about. Half of that time you're sleeping, right?
Yep.
So the other half of your life, you're working on things you're not passionate about. Maybe you take the weekends for yourself.
Yeah.
Possibly to get to go out drinking or whatnot, to kind of get away from what you do all week. You're living for the weekend.
Of course.
And then you're really only living about 20% of your life.
Yeah.
Which is horrible. Like, we only have one life.
Yeah.
And I don't think people take that into account. I don't think people realize that or work or live like that. Yep. They're always thinking next week, but eventually next week's not coming.
Yeah, 100%. That's the scary part, man, is that, it's the schooling system, man. Listen, if you get your degree, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing accomplishment. Don't think that I'm saying if you have your degree, you went down the wrong path. Of course, that is not the wrong. That is not that's the right thing to do, right? It's the correct thing to do, right? So,
according to society, yes.
Yes, exactly. Since however long ago, kindergarten through end of college, right? The issue is the system of schooling gets people in the groove of the system. So when they're out, job search. Oh, next system, 9 to 5. So it's a never-ending system of just cortisol, just stress, bro. Just people not doing what they want to do unless they're rebellious enough to go and do so. Now, mind you, I highly recommend going to school for the networking purposes to meet people. That's 100% mandatory. When I have a kid, I'm definitely having a kid. Definitely sending them to college to do their first 2 years. See if they love it. Although it's requisites. My whole issue is, why is there not a college for what people want to do? Oh, you want to be a trainer? Here's a college for trainers. Oh, you want to be a lawyer? Send them right into the requisites. Why are we studying?
Right. Just go after what you're passionate about.
Why?
Find that. You got to find it. You got to find it you got to start asking when you're 16, though. For me, I was 16 years old trying to start an app. I didn't have $30K back then. From there, I wanted to start a potato chip company. Not 18, 19 with Blake Foreman and my brother Wilson. We got robbed, but I knew when I was 16, I started asking myself what I wanted to do, and I wanted to create my own business. I wanted to create something that I was proud to do every day. And so I started chasing that. And of course, I went to college, Florida State University. I graduated. I did it for my parents.
Of course.
You know, my father's an old school guy, and he wanted me to do it. So you know what makes him happy? You got to do some things to make the old man happy.
Especially when they've made you, although you're doing your own thing outside of them post college.
Of course, they've given me life.
Yeah, exactly.
They give me love, support.
Dude, my parents could. Sorry. My parents could not stand me for 365 days. I was so confident in my future and in my path. I refused to go back to school. My parents are down my throat every day to this day, and I own a gym. I'm on my own.
Yeah, me too. Same thing. My dad's like,
dude, it took 365. Like, of course they loved me, but they were always on edge. Every little thing I did, they would just be that much more mad at me because they thought they were so brainwashed. And then they started bumping into parents at the Publixes. Yeah, my kid's having trouble in school. He's putting all this effort in, and then all he gets out of this is a $35K a year before taxes job. That's the thing.
Can't live with $35K.
But I'm not being mean when I say $35K before taxes. Making like, if you're making that, you're not going to do something. If anything, have that aggravate you, and then aim to do more, right? But most importantly, it's the system, bro.
I mean, if you're doing $35K a year and you're loving what you do, that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know, 100%. Because then you're not really working. Tim Ferriss says it in his book, The 4-Hour Work Week. If somebody's making $50,000 a year, but they're working 20 hours a week, and there's another guy making $100,000 a year, but they're working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. This guy's $50,000 is 2, 3, 4 times worth 2, 3, 4 times more than the guy who's making $100,000 a year because it's time.
Yeah,
you know, we break it down per hour what you're making. So this guy could work 20 hours a week. That's a couple hours, a few hours a day.
4 or 5 hours a day.
Yeah, and then you're out. You do 2 10-hour days.
Yeah.
And then you got 5-day weekend.
To live
your life,
start
do
something else.
Yeah, enjoy.
Party, enjoy yourself. Like, go cheat meals, restaurants with your wife, girlfriend, doesn't matter. You can enjoy life. That's the whole vision I'm trying to create for myself and create for others, is that you don't have to go through that 50, 60-hour work week. Dude, you see what we're living in right now? The generation we're living in? Yeah. You have 9-year-olds that... I was watching Shark Tank. That's my favorite show. You like Shark Tank, obviously?
Yeah, of course.
So there was a 9-year-old who sold a lemonade, bro. She bottled lemonade. A few $1 million a year. She's in Whole Foods. 9 years old.
That's nuts.
The Rock. You know The Rock, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Huge motivator of mine. And like early 1980s, had $7 in his pocket. That was his thing. 15 years old, $7 in his pocket. Now is created a company... $7 production. That's his whole thing.
No way.
In the 80s, man, social media wasn't even a word, right? Didn't even exist. And look at who he is today. What did he do differently? He had no resources in comparison to us, and we still complain. Maybe we don't complain as much as others, but we still have our complaints. Others have many complaints. Look at the resources we have.
Yeah, it's nuts.
You know what I'm saying?
We could do anything. We've got the internet at our hands. We can know anything about anything.
Anything about anything. It's literally insane. Like, you can go open up your phone. I could say, hey, Blake, you could ask Siri. You don't even have to type it.
I know.
And we're that lazy. Not us, but this generation. Like, listen, me and you are definitely lazy sometimes. There's times where we sit back and just chill for a little bit. That happens. Yeah. It's inevitable. But at the same time, we just know how to move forward and make gains in life. Most people that we're trying to motivate right now feel stuck because they're scrolling through others' lives while they're relaxing, and it's making them feel 10 times worse, putting them that much deeper in the hole. They're shoveling their own mind into a hole.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So the next thing I want to know is, we know where you started, where you're at today, and where you going. And then where are you going? Where do you want to go with this?
Where do I want to go with this? I think when you go into a gym, where you go anywhere, it's all about the psychology of vibe, spiritual energy. You walk into a room the walls are black, the floors are black. That isn't so uplifting. That's almost like funeral vibes, right?
Right.
You go into a room that's white. You're very tired in high school. You wake up by those morning classroom lights, by the morning walls, right? By the morning classroom walls. So I think there's a lot of psychology in coloring. There's a lot of psychology in music. And you go into the gyms and these colors and the music, Beyonce and Taylor Swift, I'm not repping 315. I'm not putting up all the weight I want to on a leg press. I'm not motivated, man. Very, very small cues can change everything. Have you been to a party with no music?
Yeah, it's the worst thing in the world.
And then all of a sudden,
boombox.
And then all of a sudden someone brings a boombox and shit's just ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Now, And I'm just giving you the smallest little additions to a gym that I'm going to be opening soon. I already have the blueprint and everything. That's my goal. But that's the thing. I dream and I aim to achieve so big. So say, for example, I achieve 1/5 of that dream. I'm still dreaming so big that when I take a step back, when I achieve that 1/5 of the big dream, even if I do, that's still a pretty huge accomplishment, right? But if I dream small and I achieve something so small, it's a very mild accomplishment. So my dream and vision is to own a larger facility, not private. I'm always keeping this private facility. There's a demographic for those that have anxiety issues that need to be alone and want to be trained by someone privately. But when it comes down to a large establishment, a large gym, that's the goal, man. And that's my final goal. And then I can maybe move on to maybe investments, properties, anything like that. But that's the goal, is to have 100+ people a day entering my gym, knowing my name, knowing that I'm impacting their life. That's plain and simple.
A big gym.
Like a big gym, like a really, really nice gym, like a lovely gym. Like not your typical LA Fitness.
Like an Equinox or more private?
More... Maybe not an Equinox, just because Equinox is like funded by trillionaires and they have everything in the book. But I want to make it, you go in, you go out. One other thing is I started a meal plan company called Gains to Go, which is ironic that we're bringing it up because this is why you're a motivator to me. Because 4 years ago, I don't know if you remember this, but I texted you when I was in college. I was at the UCF library and I said, I'm starting a protein shake company and a meal plan company. It's called Gains to Go. Just want to let you know, as I'm writing this, I'm so motivated to let you know that, some people in my life have been that extra igniter, the extra fire on my ass, and you have been, knowing that you were just a year older and you were running your own entertainment company. So I was like, what is he doing that I'm not in my own field? Like, he has energy. I just need the energy. So it didn't go as planned. I didn't have the funds, but I protected the name called Gains to Go, GAINZ to Go. So the whole thing behind that is the gym that I do have is going to have a kitchen in the back attached to it. Now, when you're done training and or you have 20 to 30 minutes left on your training session, you text the kitchen, you put in your receipt number. It's going to have a list of things to purchase, all tracked macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs that can fit either a customized diet if you are a member or you're on a program through the gym. And as soon as you're done training, you make a text to the kitchen. Once you start going a few times, you'll understand how long it takes for certain meals, so you'll time it right. But boom, you'll have Gains to Go, a little cup to go as soon as you're done training, hitting that window of time where your muscles need food immediately, servicing you in both exercise and high quality food. Not just like grade C meat. Oh, let's get like a $9 markup on this chicken sandwich. Let's give them fucking dog liver. No, I'm not trying to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, absolutely.
So
high quality.
That's the goal, man. That's the dream. You like that or not?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I think it's another stream of revenue for your business.
Yeah.
And then I think you should add ATMs in your gym. I think you should add vending machines.
Yep.
Depending on how many gyms you have, you could start your own little distribution.
Yep.
So the opportunity is endless. Something a mentor of mine told me is like it takes about 5 years to build this platform, right? You're probably on year 5 or getting towards year 5, correct?
I hope so, yeah. I think so.
And then once you have that platform and you got an well-oiled machine, it's operating. It's not perfect, but it's operating. Then you start to build up top of it.
Yeah.
You use what you've already created as stability, as the ground, and then you build and keep building and build and build. So that's always the dilemma when you decide, do I want to sell out or do I want to stop and do something else? Because you risk destroying that foundation of 5 years, the machine that you already have. You're better off either switching. I mean, you can always sell out if you could not sell out, but sell the business if it's truly you can't move it. But it behooves you to take what you've already built and move it in another direction.
Of course.
That you see profitable or you see passionate. And that leads me to my next question with you is, what motivates you to keep going every day? Like, what's not so much the business, but you as a person,
Yeah.
What do you think about? Like, what keeps you up at night? What motivates you? What are your shower thoughts?
Like I said, do you have till 7 p.m.? I'm kidding. No, what motivates me is, Well, primary motivator is my parents, because I've seen how hard they've worked all my life, and I'm not going to ever work less and or equal to them. I want to work harder than them. So at one point when they are retired, there's literally zero stress. Like zero stress. You know, like people retire, they have savings and they rely on savings. I want to be an extra account for my family, and then still live my life, and then still enjoy the pleasures and luxuries that life can provide me, as long as I have the security. Huge difference of people that say I'm chasing money. I'm chasing security. Huge difference if you want to go down two mental paths. Because when people chase money, that means cars, this, vacations, this and that, right? When you chase security, you can approach it in a total different element, total different mindset, total different avenue, right? So what motivates me is security, man. You know, I want all the finer things in life. I want my family, my wife and kids to have all that at some point. But you got to think, once you have that, that costs money to maintain.
Right.
The nice house costs money to maintain. The car costs. You can't wipe your ass without money, right? So
literally.
Literally, it's insane. It costs money. Like, why? No, that's another topic. But why? Now let's go back. I'm sorry. I was told not to slam the desks. You know, security is everything, man. And it's like there's levels to security. Do you want to make? Sorry, we're gonna have to talk about income. Do you want to make $40K a year after taxes and have that form of security? You know what I mean? Not you, generally speaking. Or do you want to go further than that? You know, they say money isn't everything, which it isn't if you want to go into the spiritual aspect. But money kind of is everything when you're looking at levels of security. Right now, I am money hungry, but I'm security hungry as well. But it takes to be money hungry to then to get to that security level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you got to make money and you got to save money. And you got to invest money.
Yeah.
And you've got to know you have the knowledge to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Which is what is wrong with most of America.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the knowledge on how to save money. You know, they don't have the 2 cents to not go out that weekend, put that money into either an IRA or into the stock market. But how are people supposed to know that? You know, with our education system, we're not taught that.
We're not taught, man. So that's just one other avenue of that's the most frustrating. You brought up an amazing point. We're not taught it. Like, you know, like maybe we were taught a little bit. We were maybe in college, we were getting high, we were getting drunk, we were in pain. We were not taught it at all.
No.
I was taught how to write a check in the first grade. I shit you not. Like, I remember that clear as day. I have that weird memory where I could study 300 flashcards and memorize it, and the test is the next day, and I get like a C for some reason, but I mastered the flashcards. I could tell you camp memories between me and you. Stuff that is so vivid and clear. You know, so it's just crazy. We weren't taught it. And it's like, I would love to tell you I remember what I was taught, but I wasn't taught anything in that light. So say if you do.
So what makes us different? You know,
what makes me and you different?
Yeah. So how do we help? Like, what do you recommend to people that don't know that? You know, how do you get to 20-year-old Austin or 18-year-old Austin and explain to them everything you know? How do you get through to them?
How I'd get through to them is understand you can't be a follower. That's first and foremost. Where I differentiated myself, it kind of led me, I was kind of forced down a differentiated path. You know, I took myself out of the schooling area, took myself out of the UCF area, cesspool. Listen, colleges are cesspools, and we grow up to understand that, right? Although we had amazing times, we made amazing connections, the connections aren't cesspools, it's the environment. You know, I went to UCF. How are you going to put the number one Orlando bar across the street from the UCF campus? Like, you're kind of just playing with fire there. It's kind of obvious what's going on there. So the original question was, how do I get back to people? Don't be a follower. And what I mean by that is, if everyone is doing this on a Friday and Saturday, mind you, it's okay to do that every once in a while to enjoy yourself, but take yourself away from what everyone else is doing. Surround yourself with those that are like-minded individuals that want to be on a great path. And from there, find your own fun outside of what everyone else is doing. You could find fun in researching. You could find fun in hanging out with your friends and going to a library, going to a lounge bar. You know, my mistake, obviously I was younger, was I thought it was the cool thing to do. Tuesday ladies night at library at UCF. Wednesday bottomless pitchers. Friday happy hour. Saturday downtown. And I was in this loop in this loop. Same people, same spots, same times. You know, there's seniority at these places. People that work there get the people at the bar the drinks first, and then you have the people that are not associated with the bartenders in the back. It's just a mixed crowd. People are enjoying themselves. People aren't. People are getting into fights publicly now. Now everyone's separating. You know, it's a revolving loop, dude. It's just a revolving loop. And I would just tell myself much sooner than usual, although my father's always taught me, you know, there's only one king in the room at all times. Not like, you know, but like in normal society, there's only one king in the room. So it's either are you the king or are you the follower? That's how I've always looked at it. So when everyone was doing this, I always wanted to stray away despite the isolation I felt. It made me grow endlessly. When you love yourself and when you're by yourself and you can love yourself, you're a king.
Well, you got to be the king of your own kingdom.
Yeah.
You know, you have to develop yourself as an individual.
Yeah.
You have to work on yourself. You have to have self-awareness.
Yep.
You've got to read books, read articles.
Books, bro. I know you're into
meditate, be alone. I'm reading this book called 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. And in one of the chapters, he's talking about lobsters and how lobsters mate is they fight for a certain area, so a certain ground. They go and they conquer their little territory.
Territorial, yep.
Super territorial, like humans. And the male lobsters fight. And the winner actually grows and becomes more upright and with his shoulders back and his chest out, and he's super macho and he feels good because he's a winner, right? And then he continues to become a winner and stronger and stronger. And on the contrary, the defeated lobster starts to diminish, and he puts his shoulders down and his chest down and his head down, and he feels like a loser, and it actually begins to destroy him, destroys his life. It literally kills him. And Jordan Peterson compares humans to lobsters in the sense of the little wins, you know, and when you win throughout the day, you tend to have a different swagger. You know, your shoulders are back, your chest is out, you feel good, you feel confident, and that brings more opportunity. People feel that energy coming out of you, and that attracts them. Yeah. I think a lot of my success in my personal life is from my confidence in my positive energy. So I'm huge on energy. And I think what you put out, you get it back tenfold. You know, people want to be around you. Nobody wants to be around the down in the dumps lobster, you know? Girls don't want you. Guys don't want you. Your parents are even trying to figure out what to do with you.
Job opportunities.
Everything. So I think step one is to stand upright. You know, believe in yourself, have some confidence. And it's like, you can't get to be an extremely confident person overnight. So whoever thinks there's these, you know, it's like a get rich quick scheme.
Yep.
You know, there's not a get confidence quick scheme. It takes time and years and dedication to yourself, and it takes reading, meditating, thinking, self-awareness, going inside of you, asking yourself what you want, the answers you're looking for are inside of you. You know, you got to start digging deeper and deeper and deeper into you alone, by yourself, to figure out what you truly want.
Yep.
And then you start getting, you know, towards that confidence, and you stop worrying about what other people think. You know, and like you brought up earlier, Instagram. So what people compare themselves to, it's like you wake up in the morning and the first thing people do is they check Instagram, and it's like, this guy's got a hotter chick than me. This guy has a Lamborghini. Leonardo DiCaprio's on a yacht with 12 models again. You know, and then
Right.
You just start your day off thinking like, I suck. You know, and imagine, I have a theory that I'd like to write it more about it. But my theory is, imagine a world with no mirrors.
Whoa.
Just try to visualize it for a minute. No mirrors. No one's ever seen what they look like. There's no reflection in the water. There's no reflection on a microwave or stove or whatever it is, a cup, nothing. You cannot see yourself. This is the world. that I'm visualizing. How different would it be if you never ever saw yourself? Because my theory is that you compare yourself to other people.
Yep.
So not even knowing you're doing it, subliminally to yourself, when I see someone else, if he's got a nicer car or it looks better, like, I'm comparing him to me. Because in reality, who else would I compare him to?
Of course.
I don't care. I wouldn't compare him to you, you know? I compare him to me. Because we're selfish creatures. It's nature to to protect and care for ourselves and think about ourselves. So what would it be like if you never saw yourself?
I never even put that. I'm answering that for sure, but that's like a mind fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, if you have not seen yourself, that reshapes your character, morals, and ethics like a whole different dimension. Because at the end of the day, I'm just going off based what I know, you know, especially being a bodybuilder. Like I told you, the muscle dysmorphia, not seeing my gains anymore because I'm always looking in the mirror. It's like, you'd be such a more genuine and passionate and loving human being. There's no egos, there's no comparisons anymore. It's I see you for you. I'm looking at you right now. I can't judge you. I can't compare you. I can't criticize you. I create and mold this image that I have of you based off of what I see of you, not in comparison to me. You know what I'm saying? So we're taking out the egos, taking out the criticism. There's no judging on looks. But that's the world we live in. We live in the complete total opposite of that. And I understand this is an example. You know, you're using this as an example, like, who would we be without these mirrors, right? But without the mirrors, I think there would be less war, if that can make any sense, if you can think deep into that. Because it all starts somewhere. It all starts, and the reason why I say war, not literally, you know,
right,
like the Afghanistan. I'm talking about war upon demographics, people that are in competition with one another. Because when you build a competitive spirit, it starts from somewhere, right? Like you
it's the ego. You want to be the best, and you truly should be comparing yourself to yourself. I know it's a little contradictory to the theory, but if you were always focused on making yourself a better person instead of comparing yourself to other people, I think the world would be a lot better.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying when I meant wars. I meant more so war upon others, whether it's publicly known or whether it's in your head. Because you could be, say I'm a different person, you know, say I'm someone you envy, say I'm someone you have serious competition. I'm the other entertainment group, right? You're looking at me, you're smiling, shaking my hand, but in your head, you're like, this guy's my fucking enemy. There's that war in your head, right? If we didn't wake up and put on that suit, put on that Rolex and see what we look like, then there's none of that. There's none of that testiness, that competitiveness in the air.
In a sense.
Right?
Well, yes and no, because I think it's more so for your body image. You know, like, you're not comparing yourself to what other people look like, in a sense, because if you didn't know what you looked like.
Of course. Yeah.
But in today's world, not in theory anymore, in today's world, we compare ourselves to everybody, and we also think that what we think isn't necessarily always true. You know, what I think you think of me. So I could be walking down the street and I'm like, and you don't smile at me, or you don't look at me the right way or something, and I'm thinking this guy doesn't like me, or he thinks or a girl, right? So I'm walking down the street and a girl doesn't, if I smile at her and she doesn't smile, like, she could be having a bad day. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean she doesn't want to smile at me, you know, necessarily. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, she thinks that I'm not X, Y, and Z. So I'm creating an illusion of what she thinks, what I think she thinks of me.
Yeah. I agree. And back to what I was saying with the mirror, I was only saying that in the light of, that's the precedence on the day. Like just like you said, imagine taking away the mirror. But now let's say the mirror is there, right? That's the precedence. That's the first step on the day. How do I look, right? How do I look, right? When you eliminate that, imagine how your entire character is structured. When you've never known of that, and that doesn't exist. Who are you then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I mean, it takes
it's insane.
It takes away identity. So
yes.
But in your world, I think it's important. It builds confidence.
Yeah.
Mirrors.
In
your training world.
In my training world.
It could have been obviously it was a negative in your
Competing
bodybuilding competition world, because you're always looking at yourself. You're hard on yourself. It's never, you don't see gains, so that means you're not happy because you never feel like there's anything accomplished.
Yep.
But in your training world, you're saying it's very important.
I think it's very important, and mind you, I'm in the state of where I'm just maintaining. I'm never building again. You know, if I want to get leaner, I'll get leaner. I kind of correlate it to, I'm very thankful for the bodybuilding. I'm extremely thankful. The reason being is because, you know, we grow from all of our mistakes, all of our trials and tribulations, just like you said earlier in the car before. The bean, what's it called? The seed. You said in the car, no one sees it, right? So no one saw all the hours I invested into the gym. No one saw all the hours sacrificed not accepting the invites on Friday and Saturday. When I got that muscle dysmorphia and I realized how much I wasn't seeing my gains, I got out of that life, but I maintained that dysmorphia in the success world. You know, everyone has their own path of success. So when I make the X amount of dollars, when I get the X amount of clients in 1 month, I shit you not, man, I just don't see any of it impacting me in a positive light. It's like, it's either I'm forced or it's like innate within me to always want more, whatever that may be. Maybe that's my personality deep down, that's who I am. But I can make X, I could meet X, I could do whatever I do that can make, from an outside perspective, someone could say, you succeeded for your day. Nope.
Right.
Like, not at all. And it's like, I don't know if it's a clinical thing. I don't know if I need to see someone. I'm not even saying that in like a hot shot way. I just don't, I don't know.
Well, you're hungry, you know, and I think that I think it's a good way to do it. I'm the same way. When I'm always, Matthew McConaughey said it. He said that his hero is him 10 years down the road.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that he'll never catch his hero, and he's okay with that, because it's him 10 years later. It means that he's always chasing. It means that he's always growing. He's always getting better. Yep. And I think that's the way a lot of people should think. You know, not compare myself to him or her. Just compare myself to me. Mm-hmm. You know, and I said this, I actually said this, I say this all the time. I said it in my last podcast. 29-year-old Blake is going to be thanking 25-year-old Blake, and thanking 25-year-old Blake is going to be thanking, you know, 20-year-old Blake, who's thanking 18-year-old Blake, because that Blake has always been working towards becoming a better person. Yep. And it's once you start hitting success, it gets a little bit scary, because you're like, shit, I got to level up again. And then you get there, you go, fuck, I got to level up another time. And it becomes a little bit scary, but it's fun. It's the way I want my life to be. Yeah. You know, I want to continue to grow and continue to chase a futuristic me, a better me. Yeah. And I think a lot of people's depression and sadness comes from no growth. You know, because they never get better.
Complacency.
Well,
kills.
Yeah, and you also got to be forgiving of yourself. You know, so say you weren't, you know, you're not who you were 5 years ago, right? So 5 years ago, you were talking about, you know, you're at the bar, you're in the cycle, you're in the vicious life cycle, and a lot of people get caught up in that, who they used to be, what they used to do, and I think that's a vicious cycle. And that's so harsh on yourself. Like, just because you were going out drinking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday 5 years ago doesn't mean that's who you are. You can forgive yourself. Yeah, for sure. Know, and I think a lot of people forget to forgive themselves for what they used to be, and they don't believe that they could take. Once you forgive yourself, you can go into something else. You can become something else. And a lot of people just think, oh man, I'm, like you said, I'm hanging out at home, smoking pot, sleeping on the couch, whatever it may be. Like, all you got to do is decide to change. Like, you don't have to be who you are today forever. Yep. You can grow, you can change, you can become something more. Yeah. And going back to the lobsters, you know, that's, you got to believe it. Yeah. You know, you got to wake up in the morning, you got to have your chest out, stand up straight.
Despite anything going on.
Be of value, you know? Believe in yourself and show people that you're valuable. Yeah, 100%. It's just like you said, that confidence, right? When you wake up and you're already on the worst foot forward because of the dirty, bad habits that you're going through every day. The way I simplify it,
to any client of mine that comes to me for help. I have 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old clients that I'm blessed to have, because they're either, some of them are short at telling me problems that they can't make teams. I'm like, oh my God, as much as you think you love to have me in your life, bro, that is like the greatest God's gift. That's having someone 18, I'm 23, I'm mentoring them. I explain to them, listen, what have you been doing that's been making you upset? What have you been doing that's led you to be who you are today that you're not happy with? Okay, A, B, and C. Okay, here's what I want to do. Take A, B, and C, eliminate those habits. Now immediately put on paper C or D, E, and F to fill that void. Every day, you cannot get mad at yourself if A, B, or C pops up, because you know what has to be eliminated. It's on the board of elimination, and what's on the board of filling in the void. If you eliminate A, B, and C that's led you to where you are today and fill it in with D, E, F every day, you'll become someone better each and every day, and you'll be that lobster. But you have to be a fool to be down on yourself to continue. You have to be a fool to continue to be down on yourself when you're going through A, B, and C every day, or even if A is in there. It's like heroin. That's all I'll say as well. Look at every bad habit as heroin. Are you going to touch a little bit of heroin? Are you fucking crazy?
Right.
Never going to touch heroin. Sorry, I have to go to that weird extreme. My friends always joke around me. They're like, yo, you go so deep into these analogies and you go so off course. Yeah, no shit. Put something crazy in your head that has to be stored. Like, why am I going to give you a simple analogy that just grooves in your head and it could just goes boop right out the other ear?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people care. Another way to look at it is act as if you were taking care of someone else, or taking care of, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your dog. You love all those people. You would want the best for them.
Yep.
So if you had to wake up, if your mom had to wake up early every morning to get to work, you'd make sure your mom got up early,
1,000%,
right?
yeah.
Like, you would wake up to wake your mom up if you had to.
Yep.
Right? But most people won't wake themselves up. So start treating yourself as if you were someone else.
Oh shit. Never thought of. I never.
Like, you got to go to the doctor. You got to take your dog to the vet. You're taking your dog to the vet.
Damn, dude.
Right?
That's motivation.
But why wouldn't you take yourself to the vet? Why don't you take yourself to the doctor if you had to? If you take your dog on walks because you want your dog to be healthy, but you won't go to the gym because you care more about your dog than you care about your own health.
Yep.
So you've got to. It's an analogy where you treat yourself if you were someone else. You take yourself out of you and you look at yourself as a third person, as if you were a sim. Go back to like video games, like the Sims game. You wanted the best for your sim. It was like a competition. You wanted your sim to live in the biggest house. You wanted your sim to be driving the coolest car with the sweetest gear, whatever it is. So imagine yourself as a third person and control your life as if it was a game.
Yeah.
Or as if you were someone else.
That's an insane way to put it. And what's even crazier is that I have clients, I have friends, I have family that are deep in that world of giving all their energy elsewhere. The way I see it is, some things I break down to my clients, friends, and family, anyone that talks to me about fitness. All right, say for example, you go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Just 3 days a week. That is a bare minimum approach. That is a great starting point for anyone. 2, of course, is, but 3 is perfect, right? You target every aspect of the muscle group. I said, you're having issues committing to yourself, right? This is already enough. Like, you're coming to me for help and you're trying to get someone else to motivate you to go to the gym 3 times a week, right? I'm like, what if I said I didn't exist and a genie popped out of the sky and said, every time you go to the gym, $500. Go to the gym for an hour, $500 direct deposit right into your account. Why the fuck is money a greater initial incentive than your health? Like, what I'm saying? Like, that example is pretty cool, right? Although it's, it's pretty simple to think, like, oh, no shit, I'd go to the gym every day for $500.
Yeah.
But why is that a motivator? Why isn't potentially in 6 years that failed blood report?
Right. What in your head makes money more valuable than health?
Yes.
And
you need health to get more money, because there's a chemical balance in your brain when your body's functioning properly.
I believe Gandhi said it. I believe he said that the Western society, we sacrifice our health to gain money, and then we use the money to repair our health, which is ass backwards.
Ass backwards, because if you just took care of your health, you'd have money to invest into yourself.
And everybody that's successful says it. you've got to protect your health. You got to wake up and work out. You got to eat healthy because you feel good. It's fuel.
Yeah.
You know, it's not to bring the dog back again, but would you give your dog fried chicken every day? Like, people are like, oh, you can't give your dog chocolate,
chocolate,
or this
peanut
or
butter,
that because it's bad for them. It's bad for the dogs. But then you're sitting there stuffing your face with chocolate and peanut butter and all these fried chicken, fried foods. So if you're not going to do it to your dog, why would you do it to yourself? Why do we not hold ourselves? What's so wrong with us that we don't hold ourselves valuable? And I think once you start to value yourself, your time. So I told someone the other day, own your time. My buddy asked me, how do you do all this and then still enjoy life? How do you manage being a partner in 7 companies? How do you manage your time? And I said, because I own my time. I don't let anybody else touch my time.
Entrepreneur.
You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your mental health. Because when you're letting other people pull you around, you're losing hold of your own life. You're losing grasp of your time. It's flying by. You don't even know what's going on. And you're hurting yourself. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So I think it's valuable to sit down calmly and evaluate your life from point A to point Z, your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, and decide in your time management skills. Just don't let people take your time. It's almost like you got to be selfish in a sense, where it's okay to say no. Learning how to say no was probably one of the most relieving things that I ever learned.
Yep.
Up to this point. Like, someone call me like, hey, can you do this for me? And me knowing I have X, Y, and Z to do, I used to say yes. I used to say yes to a lot of things.
Yeah, like a yes man. Just be nice.
Yeah. I'll do this later, and then I'm doing this at 3:00, and then I got things to do at 4, 5, 6, 7. I missed the gym. I'm up late. Because I'm up late, I'm sleeping later than I wanted to. All because I said yes to somebody that probably didn't even really need it. I'm not saying say no to your family on critical matters. It's okay to say no to your family.
Yeah.
It's important to say no to your family, but on critical matters, I'm saying say no to the friends. Like, hey, I'm in town. When people visit New York, everybody visits New York. So now that
You're
I
always
was there,
going to have that attraction. You're always going to have.
Right. When people call me, hey, I'm in town. I was like, oh, someone's always in town. But you know what? I can't go out on a Wednesday. I can't go out on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Maybe I can't even go on a Friday to see you. I might not be able to meet you. I love you. I send you all my love, but I got to say no.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest values in life is, just like you said, I'm not trying to topple onto what you said. I'd love to, but saying no is everything, man, because when you say no, that means just like you said, you're in control of your own time. You're in control of your path, because if you're continually saying yes with all the amount of stuff that you have to do, not a chance it's going to be 100% with what you do. Your time's divided. You're not the best you can be in the task you need to take care of, because just like you said, man, like, you're a business owner, you're pretty big, pretty known kid in college, pretty known as an understatement. So when someone's in your area, you have the acquaintances, you have the really great friends, you have the good friends, you have the kids who just want to say what's good to you. I understand where you're coming from. You got to have balance, and you've understood that. That's why you're at the level of success right now, because you've said no and you've shut down opportunities that maybe weren't as beneficial as what you were doing in the moment. And that's what I went through as well, man. I mean, I was the king of saying no at a young age. That's kind of where I fucked up, because when I got to the college environment, no turned into yes. And I went from full fitness to partying for 6 months, and then waking up and I was like, whoa. I went from a no man to a yes man. Now it's time to go back to a no man. And when I became a no man, I feel like I'm permanently a no man, but I become a yes man when I feel I'm ready to be a yes man. I'm not influenced, I'm not controlled by others. I'm not controlled by groups. I've blocked out so much bullshit where the craziest of events, the this and that were going on, and I was like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? When something's going on and you just know deep down it has to be a no. But there's times where those things have gone on and you've said yes. So you've learned what it feels like to sacrifice and fuck up and go and fuck around. And you've learned the consequences, right? And then when you learn the consequences, you come back around to when another situation pops up in your face. Then you have that strength because you've been the fuck up. You've screwed up and now you've learned.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You're 23 now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel on time?
One, that's an amazing question. I love that you asked that. I think time is the most important asset in this world. I think time's everything. You can't get back time. Fuck up as soon as you can. Fuck up early, just like I did. Whoever's listening to this, whether you're 23, 27, who cares about the age? Fuck up ASAP. Fail in the business ASAP. Spend your time investing it wisely. Fuck up ASAP. Because when you fuck up ASAP and then you start succeeding, then time becomes 10 times more valuable. But when you're screwing around and you're not doing what you need to do, time feels meaningless, right? It's like, dude, listen to this. Oh, I can't wait to say this. There's a time in my life where I was only doing online training. And I was running an online business. I was at home, just chilling, running a wonderful business from my phone, but I didn't have that sense of fulfillment. I wasn't going out networking. I was at home. I was bedridden. I was running a business, right? Time, dude, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. felt like 18 hours. Literally, I shit you not, like minutes felt like hours sometimes because I was not fulfilling life. I wasn't doing what was necessary and mandatory. I didn't feel like I was giving my all to life. Then when I started opening up my business, when I started expanding my business, 3 hours goes by in 30 seconds.
Right, because you're passionate. You love what you do. It's
not only that, it's just when you're on the right track, time becomes 10 times more valuable, right? When you're not on the best track, days feel 10 times longer. You feel so much more miserable. You're that lobster,
right? You're not
that's crunched.
You're not willing to. You're willing to just spend time.
Yeah, just spend time. Just go and do something. But when time matters, when you have a schedule, when you have a regimen, time's everything. That's when 3:18 to 3:29 is everything to you.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes I have clients that come in. Some days I come in 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Someone comes in at 9:30, but they show up 12 minutes early, and I only had 18 minutes for my breakfast. I now, looking into the future, when that schedule pops up, I know those 18 minutes. I'm valuing those 18 minutes from 9 to 9:18.
Yeah, you got to own that time.
I got to own that time. So there's no more fucking around. There's no more, I got 30 minutes till breakfast. I got 30 minutes till my next client. I need to eat. I haven't eaten breakfast. I need to make texts. I have all my online clients contacting me every second. And that's what I motivate others to try to do. Try to get so busy to where you literally are forced to go back in time, like in those high school days. You have a planner on your day.
Yeah, have a
so
plan.
Many people don't write shit down. They don't punch in their schedule. They go, okay, I have this at 9, this at 10:30. They don't put any alarms in their phones. They don't make any schedules or regiments. And correlate that to when you went to high school and you forgot your planner. And you have that really strict third-hour teacher that's like, all right, guys, get your planner out. And she has 9 fucking topics you need to study for some reason, and every other teacher's easier. But you didn't bring your planner, and then you go home all disheveled,
right,
hectic. When you're regimented in health, in life, in your everyday, it's like you brought your planner to school, bro. That's the best way I can put it. And I know everyone can relate to that because, 99.9% of people that are viewing this went to middle school and high school. When you didn't bring your planner, you felt like you were the biggest fuck up. You had to go and lean over and be that guy that bothers someone. When it's like that anxiety, it's like, do I bother this person? You don't want to be that person.
So, next question is, I feel this, and I'm sure I know a lot of people that are around our age feel this, especially ones that have high ambition. So a lot of people feel as if they're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm even guilty of it, where, I'm at 23, I felt so old. At 24, I felt so old. Like, I just turned 25, I feel so old. And Gary Vee says a lot. He's like, "You're so young." Everybody that I've met that's older than me is like, "You're so young," and it's so easy for them to tell me that. And it's also a trap to feel young, but it's an internal battle where I'm always battling. Am I too young? Am I pressing too hard? Am I running out of time? And I'm trying to decide, and so. I think that you should start early, but you shouldn't put a timestamp on it. You know, you can't compare your step 1 or step 2 or step 20 to someone else's step 50.
Then you're screwed.
100.
You're screwed.
You know, and I think that
You really are.
you're absolutely screwed if you start doing that, because you rush things, you don't do things properly, you don't do things out of love and out of your heart, and you're doing things because you're comparing yourself to someone else.
Yep.
You're comparing yourself to what you could be doing.
Yep. You ever see that picture? Phelps, when he murdered it most recently. You see that picture of the guy with the green cap? Phelps is like 2.5 feet in front of him, and you see Phelps like this, looking forward, and this guy is 2 feet behind him with his arm up, literally looking at Phelps. Gives me the chills, because it's like such an insane photo that was captured when he got like this 29th gold medal, like some crazy shit, right? When you're worried about someone else's lane and path, I don't care if it's for 10 seconds you're thinking of competition. That's 10 seconds that was altered on your life and path. You ever see those
Winners focus on winning.
Losers focus
on winners.
Yeah, exactly. So the way I see it is like, I'm so deep into the psychology and spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not sitting there at night with my feet crossed with like these scents, like the scents in the background, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. But the way I see it is, this example I'm about to say can correlate to what I'm about to say. Okay, so make believe it's 9 o'clock in the morning in one split screen video of you waking up, and it's 9:02 in the other. You have the same morning routine, but in the 9 a.m. wake up, you go to the corner, nice red light. In 9:02, you go to the corner and you get T-boned into an accident, right? So time is so valuable in where you invest it. Although it's such a tragic example, correlate that to how much time am I investing into bullshit each day, right? If I'm investing 15 minutes on Instagram scrolling through someone else's life and I'm miserable, right? That's 15 minutes of me taking off my mental track. Now, what if, those 15 minutes of me being couch-ridden, being miserable, thinking of something, split screen that 15 minutes of positivity? Where does my life path go? Am I getting into the car accident, or am I driving smoothly?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, you got to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
It goes back to owning your time.
Yeah.
You got to own your time always.
Yeah. 100%.
And make use of it. And while we are young and we have time, I often visualize myself as an older man, an older Blake version of myself, looking back on my life. And you want a motivator, do things like that. Or think about death, or think about life being taken from you. And that'll motivate you.
Yeah, you appreciate what you have.
Not only appreciate what you have, but you got to go today. You got to focus and start now and keep going through, because we only got one life. We only got one chance at this. So why not give it our all?
Yep. 100%. And back to what you said about time, you're totally okay for thinking how you think and feeling how you feel with, am I succeeding enough, or am I too young? When you say, not you, generally speaking, when someone would say, I'm young, let's take this trip. I'm young, January comes around, I get that bonus. I'm young. Let me go take this winter vacation. That's when complacency strikes, and that's when you're really fucked. Instantaneously fucked. When you say, I'm young, you have to put that chokehold on yourself. I'm not anything. I'm chasing a goal. Forget the young. What about that 9-year-old I told you earlier that is on $3 million contract annually and counting over lemonade at Whole Foods? You think she said, I'm 9, I don't need this, I could go to No, this girl's going to own a preschool soon.
Start her own lemonade preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
So age is a number. That typical, you talking to an older girl, age is a number in life. Age doesn't mean jack shit. Maybe 30 years ago it did. Nowadays, it does not mean anything.
Yeah, think back to when you were 20 and you looked at a 25, you're like, damn, they're so ahead. They know everything. And now, you're getting older. You're like, what? I don't know shit.
You have 13-year-old savants that can play piano blindfolded with one hand and then tell you the algorithm behind some crazy biochemistry math problem that me and you would have seizures looking at. Not talking down on those who have seizures, making a joke, But we'd look at something like that. 13-year-olds can, in 2 minutes, done, handled. So it's like we're looking down on them going, oh, we're older, we know. But there's things that these young kids are learning because of social media and Googling and researching that we couldn't even fathom at 13. The world's advancing on a different level, on a whole different level.
Yeah.
So there's age is nothing. So that whoever's listening to this, what if they're 32? I'm 23. I own a gym. You're 25.
Yeah.
You just turned 25?
Just turned 25.
When?
Last week.
Happy birthday, bro.
Thanks, man.
My bad.
Appreciate it.
I texted you.
You did.
I remember that. What the fuck? All right, so I text you happy birthday, but what if there's a 32-year-old listening to this, and then they're laying down, they're not going through the best time in life? Understand something. This guy right here, Grant Cardone, my motivator outside of the rock, from the ages of 18 to 27, addicted to heroin, Molly, drugs, everything, out of rehab at 27, 55, 57, has $890 million in commercial real estate sales, owns his own private jet. So say if you're 21, 25, 32, lazy, smoking pot, drinking, listening to this right now, you have the resources that this guy couldn't even put. Social media didn't exist when he changed his life around. The word wasn't even a topic. The word wasn't created. And look where he is today. And he's now just getting into the social media advertising. He's trying to be that old guy who's trying to be hip on social media. It's kind of corny, but he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, he's doing something.
He's
right?
doing,
like, you know, some people say it's corny, but some people say Gary Vee's corny. I've been guilty of saying, you know,
it's fluff. It's like fluff. It's just.
But
like,
is it? I mean, the guy's he's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to sit back and criticize. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like,
no one saw the steps though, just like you always said.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
They just see what he wants to post. So
right.
like,
They
what
see
fuck
Gary
it?
Vee here, and right, but Gary Vee's been doing this for 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, and he sacrificed. He was living at his parents' house, running his dad's wine shop, so that he could be where he is today.
Yeah.
And if we knew Gary when he was 30, 35, 40, everybody'd be like, that's Gary, man. I wonder how many people how many phone calls he gets.
He has to blow off.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
like
That's
the old, hey, what's up, man? You remember me? Like, nah, I don't fucking remember you.
yeah.
Where the fuck were you?
Dude, no, there's levels to that annoyance because, dude, mind you, like, yeah, I open up my own spot at 23. In my eyes, and I think to this world, I'm a peon, bro. I'm an ant to the success society. I haven't done much, bro. Yeah, I opened up my own spot. It's a great first step, but people contacting me, all these random congratulations out of nowhere, right? And in my eyes, I'm just like, you know, I got a little taste. There's levels to that, to those congratulations, right? Imagine him. Me, like, I was just like, all right, this is just so obvious. You want to trickle into my life now? All right.
Yeah, I mean, you're a perfect example. We're both perfect
Yeah,
examples.
for sure. I can't even imagine you. Like, I understand your life consists of the entertainment lifestyle, but you're the guy that has the VIP, and whenever you want to enter, you enter. That's the typical trying to put their nose up your ass, trailing you behind the fucking ropes. So you know that every day.
No, but I remember starting at 20, and I remember even my own fraternity brothers would make fun of me at chapter. You know, I would go up to speak, and all the kids in the back are like, top tier,
Immature shit.
just cracking jokes, and there was mostly older kids that either
Envious.
you know, whatever it may be. But
Just messing.
my thing was, I just had to outwork those haters. Yeah. I had to outwork the haters because I knew that they weren't going to work to hate me as hard as I was going to work to outdo their hate. Mm-hmm. You know, I knew that a year would go by and I would still be working on me, and they would become tired. They wouldn't no longer have the work ethic to continue hating and making fun of me.
Yeah.
They'd give up.
Yep.
And everybody's going to give up eventually. All these people all the naysayers, and I'm sure you've encountered them, the naysayers are going to give up hating because that's work.
Yeah.
To continuously hate on someone is work.
And they're only hating because they don't have much going on.
Correct, because they're focusing on you, not themselves.
But then when they come to the fruition, they come to that realization that, yo, I have a path. Now I'm understanding what work's like. Now all those times I was hating, I kind of feel bad because in reality, I just didn't have anything going on. So I had that time and energy to hate.
Exactly. Now, yeah, we've all done it.
Yeah, but now they want those supporters, right? But good karma, bad karma exists in this world, I think. So all the people that were hating, they try to now, all they want is support. Doesn't really work like that. The energy in life doesn't work like that. So if you're a hater, if you're hearing this, wake up and just stop hating.
Yeah, it's also being positive. You know, haters are normally negative people. So being positive is, whether your life's going good or bad, you got to be positive. Because I'm guilty. If I'm having a bad day, I'm more inclined to be a hater I'm more inclined to say, fuck that guy. As opposed to if I'm having a great day, you know, I'm smiling, I'm on the subway smiling at people, and everyone else is pissed off, but I'm having a great day, you know, I'm trying to breed that positivity. But if I'm negative, if I'm having a bad day and I'm being negative, it's like, you know, I'm not smiling at people. I don't want them looking at me, and it's just a downward spiral.
Yeah.
So being able to be positive even when you're having a bad day, and remember to be grateful. Like, wake up in the morning. I meditate every morning. Wake up, meditate.
Genius.
And then I say some things I'm grateful for. My life, my health, my family, my friends, my business. What do I have to complain about? What do most people have to complain about, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to focus on what you have more than what you focus on what you don't have.
Yep. That's amazing you brought that up. I actually just most recently posted this. I made a status about this compersion. The word compersion, it came across, I think, Aaron Singerman, the owner of Redcon, that really successful supplement company right now, he posted it. It went in my head. I was like, whoa, I never even knew this word existed, man. It's crazy, the dictionary. I'm like, that's another topic, but there's a lot of words that we don't know that are so applicable to what we're saying right now. Compersion. Compersion is finding joy in seeing others' joy.
Wow.
That's an amazing word, right? So, yes. So I never knew that word. I even knew that concept existed. I thought, you know, maybe you had to throw a bunch of sentences together and then formulate this topic of just be happy for other people, right? Compersion is finding joy in others' joy. And that doesn't exist these days. And what I tried preaching was, gives me the chills, man. I don't know why I'm so passionate about some of this stuff. It's just like, what you put out to the world is what you get back. I let go a lot of I wouldn't say dead weight, but I let go of some mental weights in my head. The heaviest dumbbells in the gym were in my brain. And I kind of had to let go of them. And ever since I did, I brought this spirituality out of me. I brought this positivity, that crab. I went from here to, not in a cocky manner, just internally, I was doing this. And what I've attracted, you know, tenfold. Dude, if I didn't make those actions, I wouldn't be sitting with you. Cause and effect, the butterfly effect. I would not be sitting here with you right now. Maybe it could have been in a week, but it's happening right now. Everything's happening right now because of what I did. And
100%.
Everything, every mistake, everything has led me here.
Right. What you do, what you put out attracted me to say, let's do this. Let's do a podcast. Let's put this out to the world so they can see it.
Yeah.
See more positivity.
Yeah. And that's not preached, it's not pushed. That's why I love doing this with you, man. Like, this is like life-changing. Even this one time, say we never do it again. You've changed my life forever. Mark my words. Like, just the fact I'm even be able to talk, people are going to hear my voice.
Yeah, put yourself on a podium, you know,
yes.
let them know.
Yes, people are so afraid to do so.
What you're saying about finding joy in other people's joy, I think, is so important, and I think it helps you grow as a person. Obviously everybody knows, everyone that knows me knows how close I am with Blake Foreman. You know, and watching him progress through life has been such a joy to me.
Yep.
To see him go from, you know, a short, maybe not so popular kid to who he is today. I mean, the kid, he's a man now, you know.
Yeah, of course.
He's out earning probably 99% of people his age. He's out working them. He smiles more. Yeah. He's healthier. He's enjoying life. He's in New York. He's doing his thing, and seeing that brings joy to me.
Yeah, like, of course.
I smile when he tells me what he's up to.
Yeah, and that's rare to have in a friend. I have the same thing. Tozo, Nick Stano. You remember Nick Stano?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, he went from, and listen, everybody plays the games. He just went a little bit deeper in high school. We all did, Call of Duty. Right. And he got a little deeper and deeper, and he went from hermit crab to now he's like one of the top beverage directors at one of the nicest French restaurants here. And I understand money's not everything, but he went from rock bottom to who the hell are you? Mike Tozo, man. My fucking brother, dude. I went from seeing everything that's happened in his life, whether good or bad. You know, everyone has bad stuff going on and good stuff. Now he's a firefighter at 24. Life set, pension, everything, security. Talking about security. Following his dream, bro. Like, his whole family's involved in the firefighting, you know, and then he has space to add on to more income. He works X amount of days a month, and then, you know, I'm always motivating him. He's motivating me, but I'm trying to get him into that entrepreneurial light, in which he always has had it in him. But, you know, just like I told you earlier, I see myself doing some form of business with it. That's that's the type of family and team I want to build. Is if I'm to ever work with people, I want people to find joy in what I do and what I create for myself, and vice versa. Because if you're working with someone that doesn't have that for you, they're waiting to get to that peak point, and they're out on you. Because they don't want to see you grow as much as they grow. They want to grow with you as much as they can, up until they can go do their own thing, go and take what you do, go and learn from you, and peace out.
You want a team who's always cheering you on.
Yes. But it's hard to find. It's hard to find that in new people you meet, because everyone's out for themselves. And it's true, it's okay to be out for yourself, but to find that in someone else that you may have not had 16-year relationship with.
I think the more successful you become, the more you want to help people. And that's what I'd like to see in the world change. I'd like to see more people wanting to help other people and cheering other people on within their success.
Yeah.
It's seeing your friend either graduate or start the company or get that promotion or get that bonus, the rate, whatever it is, get the girl, like anything. You want to be happy for them, and I want to see more people like that.
Yep.
I don't want people to be hurt in this world.
But now, imagine being able to teach others to do that towards others they don't know, that they're scrolling through, that they pass by. I believe that, although it's so corny to think, like when you scroll and you envy other people, not you generally speaking, people scroll and they may not be going through the best of times, and they see someone else post that diploma, post the new car, and they have this negative, like, fuck that guy, fuck this girl.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And they won't like it. They'll see it, but
they'll see it, but they won't like it. But it's only when they post something beneficial, you do the double tap, or you comment, congratulations. Don't have that negative. Just, this is a whole, it's so weird.
How crazy is it that people follow other people? They want to see what you're doing,
but they don't give you the credit.
But they don't want to like it.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I fall victim. But not that I'm saying in my head I'm envious. It's just like, maybe, I've given,
How are you going to follow someone? You want to see them all the time. You want to see what they're up to, but you're not going to show them any love.
It's because we're a mad invasive race.
But most of the time it's people that or you're close to. Like, all these people follow the celebrities, and they like everything the celebrities do. They buy everything the celebrities do. They eat everything. They eat up everything from the celebrities. But they won't support their own boys. They won't support their own friends. Some of them won't even support their own families.
It's crazy. It's literally crazy.
It's unfortunate.
Unfortunate isn't even the right, like they'll go and buy Kylie Jenner's makeup products, but when their girlfriend starts their own cosmetology eyelash company, they won't give them $50.
Or they make fun of their girlfriend or friend for putting on, a YouTube channel. Because
the person making fun of that person is envious. That's just envy. Because why are you gonna hate? What is the person doing wrong? They're just trying to better their self-image, just trying to better their business intellect, their approach on life. Why are you hating?
Right.
But that's the thing. I can't sit here and make like I haven't been hating. I've hated before when I was younger. But then when I started, to be more entrepreneurial, I realized stop putting that energy out in the world, because all I'd want is for people, fuck the likes, fuck the comments. That's not what I care for. What I care for is, when you pass by my post, do you mentally support me or not? That's all I want. Because if you mentally support me, that energy comes around. And then when someone brings up my name to you, you have nothing but nice things to say instantaneously, no hiccups. There isn't some fake comment that comes out of your mouth. I'm only trying to do good on my part to help others in this world get more fit. You understand what I'm saying? So you have other trainers that come across my page that may be working for a public facility like LA Fitness, but they see me with my private training spot. It's so funny because I used to be that young kid, the muscles at UCF, for some reason they put 7 Stairmasters overlooking the main floor. Every sorority girl, just all the cute girls would hop on the Stairmaster. So it was ego filled on the main floor. You wore the nicest clothes because you knew you had a legitimate audience every time you trained. It was pretty obnoxious. Like, you almost didn't go for yourself anymore. You just knew that you were being watched. So when I was young, that stupid ego was built. I was 18. It's totally normal to do that. 25, if you're still doing that, you got to kind of get a sledgehammer to the head, like wake up a little bit. But that carried into me learning how stupid of the time that was, and I grew from that. And now when I walk into a gym and I see other trainers, I'm that crab, but I'm the nice crab. Where other trainers that see me, that know my background, lobster. When I see those other trainers and they see me, they put their head down past me and they grill me because they think there's this ego. And I've actually approached them before, and I've been the nicest to them. And when I did that, I unlocked a whole new being from them. And when I see them now, it's hugging
Nothing
me.
but love.
Nothing but love.
Right, you got it. But sometimes you got to be that
You got to extinguish it. And I've learned, I used to always be that guy that never said a word. I would be that guy that would let the girl walk by me, that would smile to me. I'd be that guy that would let the connection walk by me, and I wouldn't make a fuss. Now, if I sense that tension, I go up and immediately extinguish it. Because one, I don't have an ego. Two, there shouldn't exist in the air between me and you. Right. You know, you're a trainer, I'm a trainer. You can open up a gym in 3 years that is 10 times more successful than mine is while I'm open for 5 years. You know, people don't understand that.
You still gotta be happy for them.
Yes. I'm very happy for anyone that succeeds. Unless you are competition to me and you're trying to step on my shit, I'm gonna.
Yeah, competition's good.
I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna try to fuck you up. Not physically, just, you know, when you're in
business.
When you're in my path and you create an obstacle, like I'm going through you.
Right.
That's like, if you're gonna you can open up right next door to me a private training one-on-one. You're not beating me. That's my mindset. But as long as it's that business side and not your everyday where you're walking around like your shit doesn't stink, you're good to go. But some people don't have that balance. They want to be the killer in the business world, and everywhere they go, they maintain that energy, and they're just a killer. And they can't be friendly with you unless you're benefiting their pocket.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard balance. I won't say it's easy.
Yeah. So. Yeah, man.
Well, any last remarks? Anything you would say to anything else you would say to a young gun?
Anything else I would say to a young gun
or an old gun? You know, somebody who wants
fitness related, like my background related, to give advice, because you never know who sees this. Fitness is blowing up, to be honest with you, especially in this judgmental world. Everyone's trying to look good for the gram.
Yeah, so absolutely.
It's almost becoming.
Roll with what you know.
So, one thing I want to say is, if you want to be an entrepreneur in the fitness world, stop repping fitness companies. They use and abuse you. They give you a discount code, and then you look like everyone else. That goes back to what I said about earlier. You're becoming a follower. I worked for VPX/Bang Energy. It's beating Coca-Cola right now in sales, which is pretty absurd. They're about to be bought out. All that good has to be bought out. It's like they're already in communications like 6 months ago with Dr. Pepper. What I find most important is, don't be a follower. I get it. Maybe it's exposure if you throw the discount code in your bio. In the past, maybe when you're done with it, oh no, she was with One Up Nutrition. She was with VPX. I get it, but you need work ethic, yourself, and that's it. You don't need to put a title over your head to make a name for yourself. That's the misconception in this world. People think they need to be with top companies to get elsewhere. Those top companies, you're replaceable. That's why I couldn't stand about working elsewhere, even in an office, anywhere else. I was replaceable. I just made a post recently. If you're a system worker, no offense to anyone in an office. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's no offense. Everyone has their own path. For me personally, my mindset, if I'm working in a mortgage office like I was before, and I get sick, that business is pumping. They don't need me for that day. That would give me severe anxiety, knowing that I was home and I wasn't valued just for that day. If I'm sick here, I lose 9 clients' pay a day. That's fucking scary. That's what intimidates me. That's what makes me stay on top of my health. That's what makes me take my vitamins. I need to be elite every day to make my pay. Every day is on me. So we're in a very entrepreneurial era. We're in a very entrepreneurial generation. Stop going under people's pipelines. Stop the MLMs. Create your own thing. I'm sorry. I know people want to work in offices, but we're in a very entrepreneurial era. Become an entrepreneur. Because at the end of the day, all that's going to happen, I promise you, unless you work for some family company at a law firm where you're moving up and you make that 6-figure salary and you have a team, that's one life. I know friends that have that life. That's fucking great. But you're going to work that office life and just say to yourself in 6 years, I'm tired of the cubicle. Sorry, it's true. That's everyone in the world. I'm tired of the cubicle. I'm tired of the office. I want to do something for myself. Start game planning now. Even if you're at the office, you're at a desk and computer, you can still blueprint every other 45 minutes to an hour, whether it's 2 little notes a day. That's 14 notes a week. It's 56 notes a month.
Yeah.
And that accumulates. I don't know. Stop repping other people's shit. I get it. If your friend makes a clothing company, you want to rock it. That's one thing.
Support it, yeah.
Support. Stop representing. Support. Huge difference. If you love that energy drink and you want to take a picture just for the gram because you want to add quality and variety to your page, so take a picture drinking it. You don't have to be confined to one thing. That's the issue, bro. They get you confined. They get you contracted. They don't even pay you. They give you crumbs. It's crumbs. Right. It's literally crumbs. And then you're contracted.
Yeah, people feel like they're part of something, and
yeah.
sometimes it's good. It's good, stepping stones, but
Stepping stones.
Yeah, just don't get too sucked in.
Yeah.
Always be asking yourself, do I love this?
Yeah.
So I think that's a great note to end on.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Hit a
much
homie,
love
bro.
to you, man. Very proud of where you've come, and
Same to you,
excited
man.
to see where you go.
Hell yeah. Good.
Good.
It's a great podcast, bro.
Yeah,
Fuck
man.
yeah, man.